index would cripple American medical innovation, delay access to life-saving therapies, and
Just past 8 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, way down yonder at the other end of the gopher-shaped broadcast table. Miss Erin has local news up next.
The governor surveys the damage in Ruston. We'll talk more about that. Thousands of Comcast customers were without service. We'll tell you why. And
you did?
Yeah.
From the city?
Oh, yeah.
What's it about? Is it about insurance?
Uh-huh.
Were you surprised by what you read?
No.
Did you buy what you read?
Of course.
We will explore, we will dissect that document momentarily, plus Fletcher and sports and traffic and weather. It's all coming up this hour right here on KEEL.
And 710 KEEL.
The governor on hand to survey the devastation in Ruston. In the path state used to floods and hurricanes, it's unusual to see such a precise path of destruction.
Tornadoes, unlike floods and hurricanes where everything is widespread, it's really sort of strange because you see one side of the street seem perfectly normal and everything on the other side of the street severely damaged.
Ruston Mayor Ronnie Walker says crews will be back out again today.
It's just a matter now, we're trying we've got so many trees, so many poles that were broken. We're trying to get into neighborhoods that we haven't even been into yet because we couldn't get into them earlier. So we're going to survey the damage. We've got crews coming in to help our crews.
A mother and her son in Ruston died when a tree fell on their house. Major internet outage hitting Shreveport. Matt Parker with that.
Says Tuesday night storms caused major damage to their infrastructure and caused a mass outage. The majority of customers had service restored just before midnight last night. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A bill by Shreveport Representative Thomas Carmody would allow restaurants and food companies to deliver beer adapt. Unlike years past, this bill is garnering more support because minimum wage in Louisiana, it would go up to $9 an hour. Business leaders, though, object, saying this would cost jobs across our state. The first is that of the new athletic director, Scott Woodward. Tiger Rag editor James Moran says Woodward's 6-year deal is valued at $8 million, with a starting salary of $1.1 million and seeing it bumped up to $1.5 million in years 5 and 6.
I don't think Oliva ever got to $1 million in total compensation. Maybe there was some bonuses or things like that, but clearly.
But if Woodward is still on board in 2025, it gets a $250,000 bonus. Major sporting event coming to Shreveport-Bossier. There'll be an Olympic qualifier women's volleyball tournament coming to the CenturyLink this summer. The tournament will happen August 2nd through the 4th at the CenturyLink Center. A local pharmacist indicted for fraud. Melissa Richardson, who worked for Veterans Affairs in Shreveport as a pharmacist, indicted on 20 counts of acquiring drugs by fraud. According to the charges, Richardson used her position to illegally take various drugs from prescriptions meant for patients. If convicted, Richardson faces up to 4 years in prison. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un bordered most stressed nations in the world list is out. The U.S. is number 7 FM and 710 KEEL.
And KEEL Friday morning traffic. Friday.
Spring and Market. And we still have some heavy backed up traffic on Benton Road in both directions near Benton High School due to an overturned sand truck. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Now, the Arklatex stays dry through Sunday. It looks like sunny tomorrow with a high 82, and clouds open the door for sunshine on Sunday. Sunday's high 82. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
Adam, because he's sort of like the Mel Kiper of the Arklatex. Mm-hmm. Actually, in Bristol, Connecticut, they refer to Mel Kiper as the Greg Adams.
They do.
Of New England.
They do.
101 M 710 KEEL. By the way, did you see the meme that's going around?
No.
The Robert Kraft. Greg, did you see that one? Hold on just a second. I'll show it to you. Basically, it's a picture of I think I deleted it. It's the picture of an Oriental woman, and she's giving a man a massage. With the first pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Patriots take.
Oh, yeah.
Too soon? I don't think so.
Maybe not.
Okay, so.
Supposedly got from AIG.
And then, pardon me, why do you say supposedly?
Well, the mayor.
Walk us up to that.
The mayor said during the meeting on Tuesday, the city council meeting, that the city had gotten a letter telling them that insurance was going to be changed, that the prices were going to change, the way they did it was going to change, etc. And my whole point was, if you had that letter, wave that baby high and wide and go.
Because it helps you make your point.
Yes, they're changing our coverage. That's why we changed agent of records.
But wasn't it after that or before that or both that he said that it would save us money?
Well, he said before this it would save us money. This letter was sent This letter is dated.
Where we were about to go from $815 million in coverage for about $500,000, $50 million coverage.
Exactly. So I said I want to see that letter. The letter.
Now, who is this? Is this addressed to the mayor? Is it addressed to Evelyn Kelly, the risk manager?
No.
Address something to the city of Shreveport. Just a generic. Who does that go to?
Well, it's from AIG, so I would assume it would have been shuffled over to risk services. Risk management. I don't know, but the letter is from risk specialists, companies, insurance agency.
Dear, who does it address?
It says, "Dear policy holder."
So it's kind of like a form letter.
Yeah. This is to inform you the above captioned policy may be renewed with terms and conditions different from those contained in the expiring policy. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but here's the part you need to know. Changes may include, but are not limited to, an increase in premium, an increase in retentions, deductibles, a reduction in limits, a change in the issuing paper company, an elimination of coverage, and or other needed policy changes. The rest of it is bubbity-wubbity.
To some degree, that kind of backs up what Mr. Adrian had said all along.
They may eliminate our coverage. We need to look elsewhere. We need other alternatives.
But we just changed brokers. We didn't change companies.
They go up.
Here's my question, which remains unanswered. And I don't know if the city, if the city is legally, we shall negotiation between the parties, i.e. the city and the insurance company.
That's my next PBR.
Here's my question, and it's been my question for about 2 or 3 weeks now. Who first suggested that the city of Shreveport reduce coverage from $800 million process? Where in this series of letters that went from AIG, the insurance company, to the city, did what's a good idea? 92% less. And at what
point? It obviously wasn't suggested by the city.
And at what point did anybody from the city go, okay, that's a pretty good idea?
Robert, it's pretty simple.
Show us the dotted line.
It's pretty simple.
You've said this before.
Nobody read it. They've been dealing with this stuff. It's over and over, years and years and years. Nobody read it. Nobody looked at it to see
made the point,
what did we have before? What does this give us?
You had made the point, and you stood by this for a week or so. You said, I think somebody at City Hall, I think the mayor, I think may have been bamboozled.
Of course they were.
And if that is the case, and I said this yesterday, and to me it is the overriding point. If this company, or specifically this carrier, i.e. this agent, bamboozled you, why would you go back to them to increase the coverage?
To give them more business.
Why would you?
A little.
You know what it means? It's time for more RIPs. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel football draft, NFL draft. Greg Adams in a second or two. The Mel Kiper and the Arklatex. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we report to us. Give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Now, the Arklatex stays dry through Sunday. It looks like a small chance of showers and thunderstorms Monday afternoon, but here today, sunshine's in the forecast at 79. Clear tonight, low 55. Sunny tomorrow with a high 82. And clouds open the door for sunshine on Sunday. Sunday's high 82. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
1017 FM, 710 Keel Sports Update from Fletch.
Good morning from the Nashville, and it didn't take long for former Northwestern Knight and LSU Tiger Devin White to hear his name called, going 5th overall to Tampa. Irish alum Jerry Tillery goes number 28 overall. He'll join Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram to add a little more oomph to an already potent defensive front. And a surprise, Greedy Williams, who had been forecast before the scouting combine and the draft really started kind of getting into full swing. He was forecast as a top 5, top 10 pick. Greedy Williams out of Calvary and LSU was not selected in the first round. Neither was Louisiana Tech's Jalen Ferguson. Both are expected to go early today in round 2, which begins at 6 o'clock. The number 1 overall pick was Kyler Murray, the quarterback from Oklahoma, going to Arizona. Nick Bosa, Ohio State, goes to San Francisco. And Quinnen Williams out of Alabama is a New York Jet. Timmy Clifton, who scored the game-winning goal in the third overtime of a series-clinching win over Lone Star in the first round of the Mudbugs playoff run, got the Bugs off to a good start in the South Division Finals at Amarillo last night with a goal 90 seconds into Game 1. C.J. Regula made it 2-zip in the second, and Jack Yannick iced it with a third-period goal. Bugs win Game 1, 3-1. Game 2 tonight in Amarillo. Leo Schwartz, 20-103 win. Second round NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. Boston takes a 1-0 series lead with an overtime win over Columbus, and the Stars fall to St. Louis 3-2. The Astros fall to Cleveland 2-1, and Seattle clubs Texas 14-2. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I'm missing Tiny House Hunter when my kid was born.
I'm so happy for Devin White is all I'm saying. I think it's wonderful. He's a good kid. I say good. He's a grown man, but what a great guy.
The only people that I feel really, really bad for are LSU and Saints fans last night.
Yes, I'm not happy with him being at Tampa Bay. You're right about that. But we'll get to see him play every year. I mean, we'll get to see him.
Yeah, twice a year.
Yeah.
Drew Brees is ecstatic about that.
We'll get to have him in New Orleans every year.
Were you surprised that Jerry Tillery went first round? Did you think he might fall to second? Bluntly speaking, and I said this to you a couple of seconds ago, and that after he was drafted first round, what was it, 30 by Los Angeles Chargers, and you looked at his draft status, his draft synopsis summary, it said basically it's physical skills. And all I'm thinking is, believe me, in 3 months, you're not going to recognize the guy. You're going to have a different body.
Yeah. Jerry Tillery, I thought, was going to go somewhere between 12 and 30. 12 as high as Green Bay. They fell in love with him. The other team that fell in love with him was the New England Patriots. Same thing that was possibly going to hurt Jerry Tillery is the same thing that hurt Greedy Williams.
And that's what we want to talk about.
Yeah, we want to get to Greedy.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing that all of these teams have been talking about. Go ahead.
Let me start here. And Parky, I want you to jump in with your own theory about why Greedy Williams has not yet been drafted. Would I be correct or incorrect if I would say that you think the number one with a bullet reason Greedy Williams was not drafted last evening in the first round is because he sat out the bowl game?
I don't want to say like number one with a bullet, but it contributed to it because the big.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Okay. The big thing that teams have been talking about for the last year or so is commitment to football. It's a phrase that's getting thrown around. Good teammate guys. So there are a lot of old school general managers now, guys like Mike Mayhawk, who is now with Oakland, guys in New York, in Indianapolis, who are looking at more than just the talent on the field. They're looking at what kind of guy this is. And sitting out the bowl game, taking off some of the...
expand it, so to speak. In your mind, have Greedy Williams' activities or lack of activities since the LSU regular season ended, and I want you to bring the combine into it, did those hurt him?
Absolutely. I think he got himself an agent that gave him some really bad advice. Not only did he sit out the bowl game, which, it hasn't been that big of a deal in past years, but he was the only guy in the draft that didn't have individual meetings and refused to attend individual meetings with teams.
Who was the other cornerback? Who was the other guy?
DeAndre Baker.
Yeah, who won 30 to the Giants, who apparently had bad meetings, but actually, at least showed up for the workouts and talked to guys and finished a combine. Greedy only ran the 40s. So.
I'm just telling you, if my son is an NFL prospect and you want him to play his final game, which is a stupid, meaningless bowl game, he is sitting it out because his future is at stake. If he gets hurt, he has lost his livelihood.
And I made that argument leading up to the bowl game using references like Jalen Smith and Willis McGahee. But I think we're seeing a fundamental change in the way that teams are going to be drafting moving forward. Because when there's one or two guys who are a lockdown, once-in-a-generation player who's not going to play in the bowl game, they're still going to be picked high. But when you have 25 guys who all of a sudden decide, well, I'm not going to play in the bowl game because I don't want to miss out on being a top 5 pick. Well, playing in the bowl game is what's going to make you a top 5 pick.
Greedy was already there. He was already there.
Okay, he was.
There's nothing
but
that
now
bowl
he's
game.
not.
There's nothing that bowl game could have done to
He's
change
not a top
this.
32 pick.
Except for when you have players, when you have general managers now who are looking for foundation players, teammates, commitment to football, and you have a guy who sits out a bowl game. Mike Mayhawk guaranteed looked at that because he's talked about it now. Oakland had 3 picks in the first round, and Oakland has a need at cornerback. He was a perfect fit for them. They had 2 picks
passed.
right, and they passed on both.
30 seconds. How you think he's feeling this morning? Is he a definite second rounder?
Definite second rounder. He's probably not happy.
How much money is that going to cost him? Up front.
Millions. 10, 15 million. Easy.
In the long run, he'll be okay, though. He'll be okay.
Depending on where he goes. Because if he gets drafted here at the top of the second round, Arizona would be a terrible place. That's not going to be conductive for him as a pro. If he goes to San Francisco, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, there are a bunch of places at the top that he would not fit in. If he goes to Indianapolis, if he goes to San Francisco,
Mel
Seattle.
Kiper here.
Yeah.
Actually, what would be great, we're at the point now where sliding from this point on is fine. He needs to slide to a team that's a good system for him.
Yeah.
It would be great to see him slide all the way to the 40th pick to Buffalo. Greedy Williams on one side, Tre'Davious White on the other.
Oh, Buffalo
That's the
sucks,
best
though.
situation.
Oh, man.
101's a couple of seconds.
Great program.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we still have some heavy backed-up traffic on Benton Road in both directions near Benton High School due to an overturned sand truck. Benton Road.
Now, the Arklatex stays dry through Sunday. It looks like a small chance of showers and thunderstorms Monday afternoon, but here today, sunshine's in the forecast at 79. Clear tonight, low 55. Sunny tomorrow with a high 82, and clouds open the door for sunshine on Sunday. Sunday's high 82. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
of information. KEEL News now.
Governor Edwards on hand to survey the devastation in Ruston in the wake of a freak EF3 tornado that cut a deadly path. The governor says while going through the city, there was one moment in particular that shocked him.
To see the second floor of the Motel 6, for example, that second floor just seems to be gone. And to know, by the way, that we had individuals who were sleeping in those rooms. But it appears that all of them were not injured.
Ronnie Walker, the mayor of Ruston, says the cleanup's going to take a while.
The wind was blowing bad, but then it got really still and quiet, and I thought, this is not good.
2 people in Ruston died when a tree fell on their home, a mother and her son. Search and rescue teams have still been out and about. Thousands of Comcast customers were without internet and cable Wednesday. The company says the storms caused major damage to the infrastructure and caused the mass outage. Majority of customers had service restored just before midnight last night. We asked earlier this week, so did city council members, if that $250,000 commission or fee has been paid to Frost Bank and Rodrell Sykes. Well, now we have confirmed that money has been paid, even though city council members a week ago voted not to pay the commission in light of the big insurance changes. A bill by Shreveport Representative Thomas Carmody would allow restaurants and food companies to deliver beer and wine with meals. Carmody says with the ever-expanding role of digital delivery services, businesses need to be able to expand and adapt. Unlike years past, the bill is garnering more support because of added measures to prevent minors from ordering alcohol online. Local pharmacist indicted for fraud. Matt Parker with that.
Melissa Richardson, who worked for Veterans Affairs in Shreveport as a pharmacist, was indicted on 20 counts of acquiring drugs by fraud. According to the charges, Richardson used her position to illegally take various drugs from prescriptions meant for patients. If convicted, Richardson faces up to 4 years in prison. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Attorney General Jeff Landry welcoming other AGs from around the nation to an event in Lafayette this week that addresses their roles following a disaster. Landry says oftentimes AGs play a very pivotal role as the chief legal officers in their state and sometimes have to wear many hats.
Each one of them serve sometimes in a different role, but overall, we do all of the legal legwork. We ensure that the paperwork is properly done.
Up for discussion, Landry says the event will address how to handle the medical needs for those impacted in a disaster. The National Rifle Association is diminished from the powerful role it played in support of Donald Trump in the election. 3 years later, the NRA is headed toward the next election, not just diminished, but actually divided. It's a reversal that's raising questions about the group's potential firepower heading into 2020. President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence will headline the NRA's annual convention in Indianapolis today. NFL draft pick Kyler Murray going to Arizona. Devin White from our area picked 5th to Tampa Bay. Jerry Tillery taken 28th to the Chargers. Greedy Williams has dropped into the 2nd round and is still waiting for a call. Someone opened fire on a playground at an Atlanta elementary school. 10 students were hit with BB pellets. And a guy in Virginia faces a slippery slope after he allegedly stole hundreds of gallons of used cooking grease. The grease is used to make biodiesel fuel. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin. CA. Wait, I just did it.
Dr. Belinda Robertson is you have some good news with regard to the LEAD program. First, tell folks what the LEAD program is.
Well, thank you both for having me out today. The LEAD program stands for Leadership, Empowerment, and Development, and it is our at-risk teen program for girls. And we go into the schools and we teach them about things like leadership, including self-respect, self-control, self-efficacy. We teach them about advocacy, bullying, human trafficking prevention. We teach them skills to help them build resiliency.
Okay, so as soon as you started talking, I had a couple of questions.
Sure.
And my first one is, how do you define at risk? What is at risk?
These are the young adults that do not have the advantages that the young adults growing up in, let's say, where they may not have the resources that some of the other kids have that are growing up in higher income households.
And then you said something. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And the good news you just got news about a grant to help fund the program, right?
Yes, we got fantastic news from the Peyton Manning. It's actually the Payback Foundation. It was founded by Peyton and his wife, Ashley, back in 1999, and they have, for the last 20 years, given away $14 million in grants to organizations here in Louisiana, Colorado, Indiana, and Tennessee to help support organizations that educate at-risk youth.
And so you're one of the it's the first time you've gone to them for help, correct?
It is, and so I'm excited.
That really is good news.
Yeah.
Really is good news. Belinda Robertson, Director, YWCA Northwest Louisiana. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You
Hang
bet.
on a while. Be our friend. We need more of those.
Okay, and can I just mention that
Please.
Give for Good is coming up this Tuesday. So as people are making their donation choices, I hope that they choose YWCA, and also they can go to our website, YWCA NWLA, and also to support youth.
Let me tell you, that LEAD program, and I know a little bit about it through Erin, is absolutely awesome. So thank you for stopping by, and congratulations on the great work.
Thank you.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Salvation Army guy, who is that going to be?
Major Casey is joining us next. He is set up in Ruston. They'll tell you what they're doing.
Traffic update, Ruben's here.
Still keeping a close eye on some slow-moving traffic on Benton Road in both directions near Benton High School due to an overturned sand truck. And with a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Now, the Arklatex stays dry through Sunday. It looks like a small chance of showers and thunderstorms Monday afternoon, but here today, sunshine's in the forecast at 79. Clear tonight, low 55. Sunny tomorrow with a high 82. And clouds open the door for sunshine on Sunday. Sunday's high 82. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
Captain Jerry, welcome to Keel. How are you this morning?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. Want to ask you, you guys have set up in the Ruston area. You're from Monroe, correct?
Yeah, my appointment is in Monroe, Louisiana. That's where our office is. That's where our core is. But I'm also here with Lafayette and Shreveport. All three of us, all three disaster canteen units are here with their teams.
Where?
And we're here in Ruston, Louisiana.
Where are you set up? What are you guys doing?
Okay, what we're doing is we're feeding. The initial thing to do is to come in and to comfort the people that have been affected by this storm, spiritually and physically. Sometimes we're just sitting down having a cup of coffee with someone. They just need to talk to somebody and try to process the situation. I mean, there's a lot of disaster going on here, and it's still and its effects. So there's still live wires down, and there's still communities that we can't even pull into yet. But we're here. We're going to do feeding this week. That's what we're doing this week. So we have the 3 units, like I said. Now, what we're set up is we have one that's roaming through the communities as we're allowed to get through the streets, where the workers are working and where the people are staying in their houses that haven't left. Some of them do have electricity, some of them don't. And then we're also going over to, there's a shelter that's been set up at the Glenview Elementary School. And those families, we're stationing a truck there to feed them throughout the day. And then over at LA Tech, which was hit pretty hard also, we're setting up another truck over there. So we have one roaming, and then we have 2 that are permanent.
You know, Captain Jerry, we talked with Louisiana Tech President Dr. Geis last hour. I sort of thought about asking him what I'm going to ask you, but it just didn't seem to be pertinent. But you just said that it was, and I said, so do you guys have grief counselors or people to help those who have emotional trauma? And you said you take care of that. What do you talk to people about in those circumstances?
The Salvation Army is a church, first and foremost. And so that's what we like to do. Some people want to pray with you, some don't. Some want to just sit down and talk and just tell you about their experience while the wind was kicking up, while the window blew out, while their neighbor's house roof came off. Maybe their car was destroyed because a huge tree just missed their house, but it took out, the 4 cars in the driveway. Things like that. We just talk to them about the situation so they can process it. It's a process. It's a very scary experience going through a tornado. They come in quick. They're mean. They're precise, and they tear up everything in their path. So that's what we do. We try to spiritually comfort these people to the best of their ability.
Captain, the Salvation Army also plays a big role in setting up shelters. Are y'all going to be involved in that, and how soon will those be available?
Well, we have a shelter in Monroe that houses 56 people, and that is open and ready for business right now. At this point in Ruston, we don't have a shelter set up because the community has set up a school, which is a tremendous building with, I don't know how many cots they have in there, but so far it's more than efficient for what we need. I do not know if they're going to set up more shelters or not. We're just here doing feeding this week, and then coffee, chips, things of that nature, things that we can use to feed this community, because we're going to be out here for a while. We don't just come in one day. It's not a one and done with us. We stay until the need is gone. So we're going to be needing, water donations, bottled water donations, maybe Gatorade, something with some, electrolytes in it, things that we can hand out and feed to this community. Because, like I said, it's a tremendous area here that has no power, and these people are kind of stuck in their houses. Some of them don't want to go over to the shelter. They want to stay in the comfort of their house. They board up their windows or whatever they have to do, or maybe that they didn't lose any windows, but yet they have no electricity, they have no gas. I mean, all that stuff had to be cut off.
Yeah. Captain Casey, can I take things by the Shreveport Salvation Army office on...
Assisting us beautifully, by the way, and so is Lafayette, and so is Monroe. So all 3 of those locations, any of those 3 locations would be fine. You could also go on the Salvation Army webpage, and there's a donate button. You can go on the Facebook page, and there's a donate button. Any assistance that the community can give us, and which they always do, by the way, would be greatly appreciated. We have no problem coming on. Like I said, we have 3 of these feeding units here. We have access to another 27 of them if it's really necessary. And all the Salvation Army, they always come together in a group together, combine to help the communities. Whatever, however the devastation is or how big it is, we are there to help.
The Salvation Army from the Monroe area in Ruston today. Thanks for joining us.
All right. God bless you. I appreciate it.
You bet.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Fletcher Sports, American Ground Stuff. A couple of seconds away. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on some slow-moving traffic on Benton Road in both directions near Benton High School due to an overturned sand truck. And we have some traffic delays on Hearn Avenue near Greenwood Road. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at the Planet Fitness Track.
It looks like a small chance of showers and thunderstorms Monday afternoon, but here today, sunshine's in the forecast at 79. Clear tonight, low 55. Sunny tomorrow with a high 82, and clouds open the door for sunshine on Sunday. Sunday's high.
Abalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty once again for Marine Specialties of Louisiana, the official morning show sponsor of Robert and Erin on KEEL.
Only local store carries low boats, Mercury, duck boats, Cypress K pontoon, the Tohatsu outboards, which are a big-time motor.
You know, it's interesting that they do just about, they do everything. They carry the lines of boats, top-end stuff that nobody else around the Arklatex carries. At the same time, they have customers from all over. You know, I start to say the Arklatex, but then you look at some of their customer list as far south as Lafayette, over toward Dallas, etc., who go to Marine Specialties of Louisiana to get their boats serviced, detailed, tuned up, and, as we say, ready to ride.
And if you're looking for a boat, don't go anywhere and buy a boat until you check out Marines.
You go wrong with a joint that says, make me an offer.
And Jeff and Kevin may accept your deal. You may be riding on that new boat with your tootsies in the lake by that very afternoon.
You almost slipped up there, didn't you?
You bet.
All 9.5 of them. The official morning show sponsor of Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty right here on KEEL. It's Marine Specialties of Louisiana, easily found 824 Havens Road. That's right off North Market between 220 and the car wash. So you're gone. Well, you're gone Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
That's the plan right now.
But this is some sort of, you're not saying much about this getaway. It's some sort of secret.
It's secret because it needs to be. So it's private. It's a private event. Perhaps it will become public next week. I don't know.
Forward them to me.
Yes.
Awesome.
I will send you text and email that have to do with the show that you need to take.
Have a good trip wherever you're going.
I'm looking forward to it, but I'll be back for the celebration next Friday morning. I'm looking forward to that.
Back Monday morning, 6 till 9. Robert, no Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Rush.
Right now, California produces more energy from fossil fuels, but environmentalist wackos are putting pressure on Gavin Newsom, the left-wing extremist governor out there, to ban all new gas and oil drilling in the state. Sierra Club director Catherine Phillips says that people